Welcome back to the shed. Let's see what's next on my positive to-do list. Machine cut dovetails. That sounds like a fun thing to do. I'll tell you what, let's pick something else off the list and have twice the fun. Let's pick MDF. Machine cut MDF dovetails. Come on. How do we cut dovetails on a router table? Is a wonderful question. The best answer I can give at this exact moment in time is this thing. It's an Incra jig. I've had it for ages and apparently you can cut dovetails with it. The instruction book is massive. That's because it's got full-size templates printed in it. This template looks like a good place to start. We can measure the template and cut some MDF to match it. This measures 52mm and so does this. Cool. The height of the router bit is determined by making test cut dovetails. There should be no gaps if we've done it right. What's next? We need to centre the bit to the board. Guess at a centre point and make a cut. Then rotate the board and make another cut. If the cuts don't line up, then we'll have to move the fence. Nailed it first try. According to the instructions, this tailboard needs a rebate before we can cut the dovetails, so let's do that now. The paper template starts at 5A, so let's set the jig template to that and make our first cut. Next position is 4A. Look at that, it's an MDF dovetail. The pin boards are thicker than the tails because we're going to be making half-blind dovetails. They are cut with the board lying flat and require a stop block on the fence. Template shows the pin cuts to be 26B, so let's start there. Then it's just a matter of moving the jig to the next point in the template and making the cut. Look at that, we've made a drawer with no bottom. We've made a drawer that has machine cut dovetails in MDF. Since there's 7 of them, then we should probably think about making a box to put them in. That's easy enough. 2 sides, top, bottom. But what about the drawer runners? Never mind the drawer runners, these things need handles. Square? No. Half circle? Nah. MDF on a lathe? I'm not a fan of any of these. I think they should look more like... That's better. Let's put the rest of the drawers on the CNC. And then turn them around. Very nice. I've clamped some side bits to the drawers so we can talk about the drawer runners. Never mind drawer runners, what's happened to the drawer fronts? Well, that's easy to explain. Someone can't use a sander properly, can they? Can they? I might not be very good at sanding, but I do know that if clamps can't fix it, then shims will. These shims are 2mm thick and they'll create a shadow gap around the drawers that will hopefully pull attention away from the shoddy drawer fronts. Well, sort of. Where were we? Oh yeah, drawer runners. There's not a lot of room in there. What we need is a plan. If we have one to start off with, that would be... Okay, new plan. Let's cut a groove in the drawers. but not all the way along it. Use a stop block. If you don't use one, you'll cut the drawer front, and now we have 6. The side bits are going to have some very similar slots in them too, but the workbee can do that. We have some nice looking grooves, but they're not drawer runners. These are. These are made of MDF. The drawer runners get glued in the grooves in the side bits. And hopefully everything lines up when we clamp it together. That's the side bit sorted. But before we attach the top and bottom, I'd like to make a suggestion. If we have one of these, why don't we turn it into one of these? We could fit 2 more stacks of drawers in there. That'd look amazing. Our top and bottom pieces now need to have some side support, like these. Just for fun, let's join them together with screws. I think this should go on a wall somewhere, so let's add a piece in the frame that we can screw into later. Bad news. That hanging support has pushed the drawers forward. That means it won't sit flush with the other drawers we're going to make next. Even more bad news. This is all the MDF I've got left. That's not enough for some drawers, but it is enough for some doors. These doors look pretty bland, so let's decorate them in a way that looks like they were a part of the plan from the beginning. They can have a handle that matches the drawers, and since we're here, let's add some fake shadow lines. Now we keep our fingers crossed and hope they line up with the wonky drawers. Before we see if this all lines up, let's fit some hinges. Oh, and glue this in place. Look at that, I've filled it full of stuff already. Well, that was fun. We even ticked a few things off the list. I think we can tick another one off. I'll talk to you next time.